A good evening. I believe we are live. Let's see. Without the countdown, I don't know exact. Hey, we are. Great. 10 seconds in, so you saw me sitting here chilling for a second. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have going on now. I wanted to do a live before the LSU game. I figure a few of you might be watching that. I might be one of them. So I did want to kind of give you an update on the current flood warnings. We have a few that are still going on right now. The latest one out here in Catahoula and Concordia Parish. So let me shrink down this lapse time from when we were here earlier. So in the last hour, what we're seeing here is that that batch of the heaviest rain that came through Alexandria, Gina, that we were talking about a couple hours ago, that has kind of nudged on to the east. But the problem with this is the way we're set up here with all these focusing mechanisms, the upper system to the northwest, the tropical system to the south, and the front hanging up right over top of this with very deep moisture in place, we are seeing new showers and storms developing down to the southwest. Now, I'm not seeing a ton of light. I mean, 2 strikes of lightning. I can't even find them right now. I would imagine it's probably down here on the south end or in this heavy batch here. So what we're seeing is a resurgence of these thunderstorms that are developing down to the southwest and these heavier bursts of rain. I'm a little encouraged at what we've seen over the last couple of hours with this main batch of heavier rain kind of pushing to the east. The problem is we have other models, the short range stuff that I like to talk about, that those are going to be, I'll show you in a second, they're showing these thunderstorms kind of regenerating. So first off, the high risk for flash flooding continues. The excessive rainfall risk, that's for southern Rapides, southwestern Avoyelles, southeastern Vernon, southeastern, or about half of Beauregard, all of Allen, all of Evangeline, and western St. Landry Parish. So this was expanded a bit to the southeast. Now that's the high risk. The rest of the area is in a moderate or slight risk. Off to the northwest, things have calmed down a good bit. But let's go over and take a look. We're going to first start off. The reason I'm showing it this way is we get a short range model that goes at 18 hours, and that happens every hour. Every 6 hours, they do that same model that runs 48 hours. I wish they did it every hour, but that's a lot of computing power. So I'm just going to take you through this. This is the shorter range one, which really covers most of the event. You can see here at 7 o'clock these thunderstorms. What I'm noticing here with this model is it's really kind of back building those storms, and we're seeing that a little further south. The placement isn't exactly right, but what I'm seeing is those thunderstorms developing and kind of training over the same spots again. And then we get another resurgence of scattered stuff tomorrow. Now let's go out and take a look at the larger view, or not the larger view, but the longer view on this. And this is, I believe, from 1 o'clock. So this one's getting old. We'll get a fresh one of these in the next couple hours. But you can see how those storms that were developing down to the southwest, that's kind of materializing as we speak. And so that continues to pump overhead through midnight with at least scattered storms. And then another round, whoops, sounds up on the phone. And then another round comes in tomorrow morning. We get that through about 1 or 2 o'clock, and then things dry out. And let me turn this off here. I believe they have extended the time on one of these flood warnings. So let me just get the latest on that. We'll go back to radar as if I'm sitting here looking at something. Let's see, at least we have something up. All right, new notifications. I gotta go in and check that out. LCH, that's Lake Charles. They're issuing a flood warning for Rapides and Avoyelles until 9:15. Okay, they added this one in right here. That's the new warning. You can see this pop in right there. So that is a new flood warning. That covers the rest of Avoyelles Parish. If you weren't in that warning, you now are in that warning. And here's what I was talking about. So this is what's developing to the south. Now, this is kind of a resurgence of activity in this area. We haven't seen a ton of that lately, but as that moisture pumps up overhead, we're going to get more bursts of heavy rainfall. I am now at 5.12 inches at the house. I've had reports up to 10 inches already in certain spots, especially up around Gina. That's where we've seen some of our heavier rainfall totals. Let's go ahead and take a look at those estimates. We're going to go and first off do the long fuse one. This is 24 hours. And over the last 24 hours, you can see anywhere in the yellow, you're above 2 inches. So basically from Mid-Lake on Toledo Bend up through Manny, northwest of Natchitoches, Powhatan, that area, down to Marksville, Oakdale, Kinder, everybody 2+ inches there. Down in parts of St. Landry Parish, you haven't seen rain yet. You're going to get it, but it's like crazy to think that we've had estimates, and these are pretty spot on, of 6 to, in some cases, 7, 8 inches of rainfall out of this in the last 24 hours. Heavier totals near Leesville and west of Leesville as well. But we've also, or we haven't seen anything, 50 miles to the southeast. And again, that's going to change. But as of now, that's what we're looking at. We're going to look at the last hour. I'm going to put this in motion, and we can see where the heavier rainfall rates are going. Those are kind of moving toward the Mississippi River there. But notice down to the southwest, it's always good to look at these trends on where these new showers and storms are developing and where the heavier rain is kind of moving in from. And that just prompted a flood warning down there in southwestern or southeastern Beauregard and northern Calcasieu Parish because they're seeing 2+ inch per hour rates. Let's take a look at the 3 hours, the last 3 hours. Heaviest rain out here in Catahoula, Concordia, and Avoyelles, and also seeing some more heavy rains from Rapides into Allen down toward that new flood warning in southeastern Beauregard. I'll put that in motion too because you can kind of see how this batch right here is holding its own. Down here, we're seeing that resurgence of a newer heavy shower and thunderstorm that's going to move on toward the northeast. Now, we have really worked over the atmosphere. Let's put this back to regular radar. We have really seen the atmosphere get worked over. Unfortunately, when you have this deep southerly flow, you have that convection, or you have that frontal boundary, you're going to get those winds to blow over that front. You're going to get those showers to interact with that. That's going to enhance the lift. And even without a lot of instability, with hardly any, we are getting heavy showers. Now, without instability, we're not getting a lot of lightning and thunder, but we are getting that very heavy tropical rain. And you can see even some scattered showers developing back toward Leesville and across into Newton County, Texas. So these showers and storms are going to continue up to the northeast, even with very limited instability. The deep tropical moisture, the front, the upper system, and the tropical storm down south, that's what's going to bring us more rain through the evening. So if you're in Baton Rouge watching this and you're like, okay, it's not doing anything here. Well, it's not, yeah, but like I said, St. Landry Parish, you haven't seen much. We're going to see this rain continue overnight, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a rock-solid line that we saw earlier where we were getting several inches of rain falling in a couple of hours, but we are going to continue to see steady rates with heavier pockets, and I'm watching for some possibility, at least later this evening, that this line kind of reforms and we do start to see those thunderstorms train over the same area. So we're keeping an eye on it closely here. I know we've seen tons of reports of disabled cars. I've seen some houses getting floodwaters in them and things like that, but we have just absolutely taken it on the chin today. Oakdale to Simmsport in an hour. It doesn't look good. Now, you're generally going to be south of that warning, but it's going to be very, very wet and lots of puddles. I can tell you that from coming in on 28 on the way home today. But ideally, you stay home, but if you can't, I think you probably will be okay. I wouldn't want to be going much later than that just because as it gets dark, it's tougher to spot this kind of stuff, and you end up in floodwaters pretty quickly. Lots of water on Highway 114 from Mansura to Hesmer. That makes total sense. Let's see. 4 inches in Elmer, flash flood warning. Yeah, that was that new warning that just came out. Okay, well, yeah, so the severe threat is basically non-existent. Again, low instability. The best instability is down south near I-10. That's why we're seeing these form here. And then as they come up this way, it turns more to this kind of stratiform moderate rainfall. I think we will get more heavy rain developing later, but yeah, as of now, it looks like things are in a little bit of a lull here in Alexandria, but with more forming down to the southwest. And as I showed you on that HRRR model, you can rewind if you missed that. It looks like we have a busy night ahead of us here with 1 to 3 more inches of rainfall, especially southeast of like DeQuincy to Boyce to Winfield line. That's our best chance to see that. And then there will still be isolated areas getting 5 or more inches of rain. Yes, there is sound. There should be sound. We should be good. I've seen some glitches on that, but yes, we do. We have it coming through on our end, so that's good. I know sometimes I have problems picking up other people's video sounds and stuff, and it's usually on my end, but it has been my fault before, so it's always good to mention it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Just wanted to get an update out before the big game. Didn't want to interrupt that unless I absolutely had to, and as it stands now, I hope I don't have to, but be careful if you're heading back from that way, or if you are going to some sort of watch party tonight and you're in a flood warning, remember that at night, you can't see that stuff. It's dangerous. It's common sense time. You understand. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. See you back here. Hopefully not tonight, but it's quite possible that I will.